Arkle 1964 here. Going through racing 27th of December, looking at 10 races which are either graded races or well handicapped on the case of Castleford. It's a fairly decent race of Wetherby in terms of prize money, so looking at that as well. Start 140 at Chepstow, juvenile hurdle. Used to be a grade 1, 3 years now it's been a grade 2. The only horse that actually makes it in my sort of shortlisting system, so I would say, is a Fair Mac Gold. To be honest, it's a bit short for me. I'm not going to touch it. It's short. I mean, he's the only one who qualifies, but I'm not going to have a bet in that race at all, despite him being the only horse there. Move on to the Welsh Grand National. Got a shortlist of 6 here, but I'm looking here at Dom of Mary. Hasn't yet won a valuable chase. Won a couple of staying races at Newcastle at Kempton. Going today is actually just softer to Chepstow. Not sure how common that is really. I remember one time I went to Welsh Grand National, had to go a second time in a way. Down I had to book stay overnight in Bristol a few years ago, and then had to spend my day in Bristol because I went close to Chepstow, and unfortunately racing was cancelled on the day, so I went back a few weeks later. But he's I think against the race plus ratings and the price, I think he's decent. One at Chepstow, had it was novice hurdle, ran perfectly well there. Wayward Lad Chase at Kempton. The only one who actually qualifies here is Analam, so that's horse I'll be backing in that race. The Desert Orchid Chase, there's a couple of possibilities for me here, which are Fifth Oscar Favourite and also San Segal. I'd go for San Segal, although I'm not basing up the prices, but it's not definite between the two of them really, but I would go for San Segal. And in the valuable handicap at 307, I've got 3 on the list here, but Beachcomber is the one I'm going to back in this one. Ireland into Leopardstown, a very interesting renewal of a 2-mile 1 chase here. The last 2 winners were Champions, Captain Guinness and Marine National in the race. Plus, was found a 50 on Marshborough as well. Really, I'm sure we'll try and find out what rest on the bookmaker's site. Very interesting race. I'm going to go with Captain Guinness. I may have to say his 4-position win of Champions hasn't been great, and he only won it maybe because of a short odds favourite slipped up after jumping. But he did well there. I just see prices are good. His rating isn't shockingly off. He's only 8 off Marine National. It's a much higher price. So I think he's better value, but I think it hopefully be as exciting race to watch that as the King George was yesterday. For the 2-mile Future Champions Novice Hurdle against Leopardstown, Cocktail Boot and Talk the Talk of the 2 on the shortlist, and Cocktail Boot is significantly high rated, so I'll go for that one. The 3 o'clock at Leopardstown, I had to double check this. I'd gone through it, and I looked through, and I found, and I thought there were only 2 horses out for all the horses, including the reserve horses. And I then I looked again, realised the 2 horses I looked at, so put on a spreadsheet, were actually 147. I realised, have I actually eliminated every single horse from winning here? And I double checked, and I had. But either, I just checked the rating for a 3 o'clock here, then let's back up again on Firefox. Oh, it's still open actually. Oh, it's still there actually. No, I was thinking the ratings issues. No, it wasn't why I lost. No, none went out of those grounds. But either horses hadn't run a stiff track. At least one of these had happened. So they hadn't run a stiff track. They had a poor record at Leopardstown, or they'd not run of a going, or they'd not run within about, say, a furlong or 3 miles. Or there's some issues with jumping. Of course, it could be more than them. God, if you don't win the race chase at all. This isn't an unknown in Irish handicapping. I'm sure chases, I'm sure to happen. But amazingly, I still got every single horse. I only went through it twice, thinking something gone wrong, and I'm thinking, no, it hadn't. No, I just knocked every horse out of the race. Again, as yesterday, Limerick, I'm not having a bet in this race. I think all the horses didn't qualify. Again, it's either the going, they hadn't won, I'd say, 2 miles 5 or above, or Stifler. Exactly of them really had actually won the fences. So I'm actually going to leave this one out as well. Might be worth watching, but I don't have a bet in it. And the last race to look at is a Castleford Chase. And there's a few horses, a possibility in this, but in the end, I'm going for Harper's Brook.